he continues to make history. For the last 4 years, Chris Borich has dominated the Amsoil GNCC ATV division, and last year's championship success was no different. Coming into 2013, he's looking for a 5-peat. Can anyone stop this living legend? Welcome to a whole new season of Racer TV's coverage of the Amsoil Grand National Cross Country Series. Jason Wygant, of course, your host, my 11th season, giving you the call for this, the fastest four-wheel pilots in the woods anywhere in the world. And, of course, our traditional season opener here in the deep sand of Florida, Westgate River Ranch, serving as a great place to race. There's your defending champion, Chris Borich. The number 2, Walker Fowler, looking to chase him this year. Some old faces in new places. Jared McClure now on a Can-Am. Chris Bithell now on a Suzuki. And Adam McGill still mounted on a Honda. Lots of stories to follow. Let's start with the champion and his young challenger.
Pretty much just make sure I have a bulletproof program. Seems like we put pretty much the same package together. We picked up a couple new sponsors. But other than that, I mean, I've been working hard at it and feel good in my equipment, my mechanic, just the whole package. So looking forward to get the season started. It came pretty quick, but starting here in a tough track in Florida and see what we can end up.
This year I'm riding for Ampro Yamaha. We just had some things with Balance Racing last year. Everything went really well. Just some small problems and things that happened in the off season, and ended up, I have to do what I got to do for my career, and Ampro definitely stepped up, and Yamaha wants to continue to support me, so we went the Ampro route. Randy Hawkins is my new team manager. He's been in the sport forever, since longer than I've been alive, so I think 18 years or 16 years, something like that with Yamaha. Definitely fortunate enough to have such a great mentor and businessman and track leader, so definitely excited about moving into that program.
Oddly enough, Fowler came through the GNCC ranks racing both bikes and ATVs as a youth rider, and actually rode for Hawkins on 2 wheels a couple of years ago, now on the number 2 Yamaha on 4 wheels. We'll see if he can challenge Borich for the championship. Adam McGill won a race last year, a successful year putting his own program together. He's always having a good time, and this year should be no different. But that's the man they're gunning for. Chris Borich said he needs to have a bulletproof program. He needs to be bulletproof because they will be taking shots at him all year long. Chris Bithell, Jared McClure, and the rest round out your field. We will not, though, be joined by one of Florida's own. Taylor Kaiser choosing not to race this year, unable to pick up support that he felt was necessary to go racing. Hopefully we'll see Kaiser at some point during the season, but he will not be racing in his home state today. Last year's number 3 in points. Let's go racing here in 2013 at the Westgate River Ranch Amsoil Grand National Cross Country action. Bumping and banging their way through. Look at that deep sand already starting to bog them down. And a newcomer grabbing your whole shot, the number 10. That is Braden Henthorn, fresh into this class as a pro rookie. Raced the XC2 division last year. Races for Team Woodhead DeRisi Racing. And yes, by the way, they put up the $250 bounty to grab the whole shot as well. So they're going to have to pay their own rider $250 extra bucks. And how about it? Eric Hoyland at the number 13, another newcomer to this class, takes over the lead. Oh no, that is Fowler, who apparently was all tangled up and down in the first turn. He's way back and going to have to deal with quite a bit of dust. Look at these conditions here, and Hoyland rolls it over on the lucky number 13. That's going to give Henthorn the lead back, but he gets tangled, and Borich going to slide into the number 2 position. So great action here early on at our season opener. How about the new kids? Well, they certainly are full of excitement, but Hoyland's going to wish he had that corner back. He rolls it over, loses the lead. Henthorn leading now for the second time today. Borich calmly into the number 2 position right behind him. You see that mile marker sign there. We were 6 miles into what is about a 10-mile track. We'll do as many laps as we can in 2 hours as we hook up with McGill with our Rocky Mountain ATV MC GoPro onboard camera, and he is now leaning on Henthorn. You can actually hear McGill yell to let him know he was there, and he goes by and gives him the high sign. So good move by the kid, I'd say there. It's his first race in this class, and he's going to try to learn from McGill. McGill following Boric this section. So Boric is taking the lead. McGill up to second. And Henthorne going to try to learn from two riders who have won plenty of these races before. And this is one of the faster tracks of the year. This Florida terrain, you see how open it is here. They're just wide open through these sections. Whereas most of the GNCCs, they'll be deep in the woods, snaking their way through the trees. McGill and now Bithell up to third in pursuit of Boric. Now into the infield, and this is the FMF PowerPoint obstacle that Boric chooses to go around. He's taking the long line. There were some logs he saw off to the right, and McGill is going to take the FMF PowerPoint section, and I believe he's going to take the lead through there. There is Bithell all over Boric, and a couple of the other riders taking it now as well. It's FMF PowerPoint. You got to get over the logs. It's not that challenging here on the first lap, but as it gets more and more chewed out throughout the day, it might change. There is McClure making moves. So he gambled on the PowerPoint, and it paid off. McGill able to take the lead from Boric and Bithell, and these three have pulled away from everyone else. First lap of the year about to be in the books, and Adam McGill is going to be your leader on the Lone Star Precision ITP Honda. Stay with us.
Any engine. Any season. At home. At the track. Or on the trail. Amsoil, the first in synthetics.
Racer TV is brought to you by Amsoil, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. Checking out the season opener for the 2013 Amsoil Grand National Cross Country Series. Adam McGill, Chris Boric, Chris Bithell, they were top three when we left you. They are still the top three. Brian Wolf up to fourth. Wolf can absolutely fly, and if anyone has the speed to make up ground on these guys, he could be the one to do it. Then it's McClure back to the number 5 spot. And our leader McGill having a good time, and look at the pace he is setting. Absolutely flying. Boric seems pretty relaxed back there in the number 2 position. If you've never watched these shows before, I'm going to give you the strategy right now. I'm going to spoiler alert this. Chris Boric usually saves his best for the last lap. So even though McGill was able to get around him early and even pull out a little bit of a lead, it's certainly far from over. And look at the pressure that Boric is beginning to apply. Now looking for different lines, trying to close up on the rear tires of McGill. A bit of distance pulled now on the number 4 of Bithell. Bithell was a long-time Can-Am rider. They decided to pick up, as you see some fans, the Boric Bandits are out there with the big Boric fatheads cheering them on. Bithell has caught back up with them. Bithell switching to Suzuki's. He and Boric are good friends. Boric obviously has those Suzuki's figured out. It's McClure who's now riding the Can-Am. There he is in the number 5. He has gotten around Wolf in a battle for 4th and 5th, and it's a good one. We'll see if they can maybe hook up and close in on the leaders, and there's a new one. Boric has gotten it back from McGill. And I think a lot of this back and forth stuff is just the riders learning the track. You really don't know how hard you can hit this stuff or how big these holes are going to be early in this race, and the track changes quite a bit as the day goes on. Every time someone hits one of these whoops or hits some of these ruts, it's going to be deeper. And multiply that times the several hundred riders that are circulating the track right now, both in this Pro XC1 division and our amateur classes, and it's a very dynamic track. So the riders having to adjust on the fly. Bithell doing a good job staying with McGill. McGill trying to keep Boric in sight. Don't let him get too far out there. Well, this is a spot that McGill was in the last time around. He was able to make the pass at that FMF PowerPoint section. Got some of the Boric people pointing out lines for Bithell. Those two flying in formation on their Suzuki's. Here we are. Will Boric take the PowerPoint this time? Will he go over the logs, or will he take the long way? This time, he goes over the logs. So an opportunity that McGill may have had to make a pass, although he doubles over the top nicely. Opportunity gone because Boric has taken it as well. Fourth place McClure coming through on the JB Motorsports Can-Am. And Wolf appears to have lost some time, and look at who we found on the radar. It's Fowler, who was down in turn 1. He has climbed his way back into the top 5, and it's all about points for Fowler right now. I don't know if he's going to have time to do anything with Boric, but he wants to be in this for the championship, and that's really going to be the key. Can he get close enough to not lose too many points today? He's into the top 5. Can he go to 4th? Can he get into the top 3? Or can he maybe make a run for the win? It's going to be tough because Chris Boric looks to be on his game today. Stay with us.
When it's time to get ready to ride, you need gear. It's time to go to RockyMountainATV.com. With the largest selection of ATV parts, apparel, and accessories, we have what you need at deep discounts. We have a huge state-of-the-art facility that ensures your order ships out quickly with accuracy that's second to none. Most items ship free and arrive at your door in 3 days or less. Visit our industry-leading website, RockyMountainATV.com today for the best prices, quickest shipping, online support, and largest in-stock selection around. RockyMountainATV.com. Get ready.
Racer TV is brought to you by Amsoil, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. Battle is on here in the Amsoil Grand National Cross Country Series. Chris Boric, your 4-time and defending champion, is your leader. Time for the first pit stop of the season. That's Dawn, Chris's fiance, on the left, and his dad on the right helping him out. Here comes McGill through the pits, and now Bithell as well. Boy, even the flat, smooth pit lanes are getting pretty rough down here in Florida. Boric in and out now. No change in the running order. Bithell still in the number 3 position. Now they're going to work their way through. They see the Boric fiance and father out there now cheering on Dawn and Joe. They find their way to the other side of the pit to get a look. They've got other people stationed in the woods trying to tell Chris where the good lines are. No radio communication allowed between riders here. So even though it's a 2-hour race, the crew could really just watch and hope for the best. There's not too much they can do besides a brief conversation in the pits. We get a look at McClure. He's in 4th, no longer under pressure from Wolf, who has apparently had some problems, but McClure not running the pace of the leaders. But this kid, Walker Fowler, he is in 5th, and he is closing the gap. Now see the lead trio, Boric, McGill, and Bithell are running lap times in the 27-minute range, whereas McClure all by himself running just over that in the 28s. And Fowler has been able to match that pace. He was in the 27s as well, and now maybe a problem there for McClure. Looks like he slowed up just a little, although again, these ruts are getting so deep, he might have just gotten high-centered in some of that sand. We go back to our leader, Chris Boric. McGill and Bithell right there, and everyone just seems to be waiting, picking their spots. When will they put in a charge, and how much further up in the order can Fowler go? I'm going to give you the highlights of our Can-Am morning race, where utility ATVs, the women's class, and novice riders go do battle. And speaking of battle, your 4x4 open class, you're looking at Brian Buchanan grabbing the early lead. Bo Jones there challenging him. Sam Williams and Tanner Bowles also in that 4x4 open division. Buchanan, who's no stranger to even ATV motocross racing, has been a tour de force in this class the last few years. He's had some great battles with other riders like Michael Swift. Don't see Swift out here today, though, so Buchanan going to try to pull away. This is your U2 Utility Unlimited class. Big Nuts Racing, that's right, Big Nuts Racing leading this with their rider Robert Smith on the Can-Am Renegade. Basic difference between these machines, they are not designed to have racks from the factory. They've got a little bit sportier bodywork, a little bit lighter weight compared to the open machines. Now it's Dave Simmons, who we always spotlight here in the Super Senior Division. Simmons dominates everyone, not only in this class, but also overall, because these classes do race together to give them a time adjustment and determine who was the fastest rider of this entire group of morning race riders. And Simmons wins this in his class and the overall. Smith takes 2nd overall, winning U2, and shout out to a young kid, Cody Collier of Ohio in the 13 to 15 class, takes third overall. That could be a name to watch somewhere down the road. We remember back when Chris Borich was known as the GNCC Young Gun, and we think now about Walker Fowler, who dominated the youth ranks and climbed into the XC1 Pro Division for the first time last year, now in year 2. Will there be a sophomore slump? Crash in the first turn hurt him. He has come back strong. He's up to 4th. He has gotten around McClure. The problem is Fowler nearly a minute behind Borich at this point, and about 45 seconds behind the third-place rider, Bithell. There is McGill in between in second. Here's Borich checking in. You bet he'll take that FMF PowerPoint log crossing. You see how much more chewed up it is, though, compared to the early laps. I like what we're seeing from McGill here, though. He is in control of that number 2 spot. He is not letting Borich get too far away, and he looks very relaxed doing it, running that pace. Same thing with Bithell. They're ready to capitalize on a mistake, and there will be lap traffic coming up a little bit later in this race. As for Fowler, he has just put in an all-out effort to go from last to 4th. See if he can get any closer to the front after this.
The Can-Am Renegade 1000 XXC with the most powerful engine in the industry. The Outlander 1000 XT with a redesigned chassis for unequal trail riding. The Commander 1000 Limited, the most equipped, luxurious side-by-side in the industry. The facts say it's the most advanced lineup out there. But the ride says it all.
Racer TV is brought to you by Amsoil, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Can-Am. Great racing down here at the Westgate River Ranch opening round of the Amsoil Grand National Cross Country Series. Chris Borich on the number 1 has 1 lap to go. The white flag is out. There's Adam McGill in the number 2 spot. McGill lost a little bit of ground from where we were when we last left, and now Borich even able to take a high 5 from some of the Borich bandits. Got a lot of fans out here. That's what happens when you win 4 straight GNCC titles, and they want to be a part of it. McGill grabs an extra bottle of water here, embarking on his final lap, and tosses it. Nice job throwing it right by where the pit crew is located. And Bithell in his first ride ever on a Suzuki, doing a good job in 3rd, looking for a podium. And Fowler was handed a bottle of water that he dropped. And he could use that more than anyone because he has had to put in the most work. Borich! We mentioned lap traffic and or mistakes. How about both? He goes over the bars, and that's going to take a ton of energy to flip a nearly 400-pound quad back on its wheels. How big of a lead does he have? The gap was 35 seconds at the beginning of this last lap. He's going to get up and maintain the lead. There is McGill. He'll have no idea that happened. I was going to praise the guy for riding within himself in the last lap, but he needs to go. Look at Borich charging now. Looks more like a desert race than a GNCC with all that dust he's kicking up. He looks over his shoulder. He's got to be nervous. He's got to be wondering, did I miss those guys? Did they go by when I was down? Did they find another line? You don't normally endure a crash like that and maintain your position. Here's Bithell back to 3rd, and he's not quite close enough to challenge. You can see now he's starting to jump into some of those bumps instead of over them. And that's what makes this course in Florida so physically demanding. The faster you go, the easier it is, but it takes a lot of energy to go fast. There's really no smooth way around. It beats you up either way. Borich on the gas. He had something left in reserve, and he's going to use it now to try to sprint back away from McGill, who probably doesn't even know that that happened. They're going to race in just a week in Georgia, and a lot of riders will tell you expend too much energy here at round 1 in this deep sand. You get blisters, you're tired, and you don't ride as well at round 2. And I think McGill was riding conservatively and was going to be happy with 2nd place points today. But if he had gone a little bit harder, like this kid, Fowler, who is now actually getting Bithell within his sights, McGill had gone a little bit harder, he might have inherited the lead there. I hate to say that. He's going to find out after the race that Borich went end over end. As for Bithell, like we said, he is not charging like he was early. Fowler sure is, and he might take that final podium spot away. Man, is it rough down here just fighting these machines. Their backs have to be killing them, their legs, their arms, their hands, and now Fowler has caught right up to Bithell. This is just a darn strongman contest down the stretch. 2 hours into this, who has the guts to just dig down deep? McGill, he's in second, and now Fowler is in third. Walker Fowler has passed just about everyone out here, sans Boric and McGill. He'll be back to fight them on another day. But the point is, you're going to look at the results, and you're going to say, good job by Fowler. He scored solid points today. You'll never know what he endured to get it. And a good job by McGill. McGill was definitely fast last year, had some teething problems as he switched to that Honda and his own effort, a privateer ride. And if they've got the bugs worked out of that machine this year, he will be in title contention all year long as well. But Chris Boric, the worst case scenario, last lap, tags a lap rider, goes down. Able to pick the machine up calmly and bring it home, baby. And here it is. It's what Chris Boric does. He's not a big trash talker. He's not a drama guy. All he does is just win, baby. And the 4-time GNCC champion takes a big step toward title number 5 by winning the opener in 2013. And McGill has nothing to be ashamed of here. A good ride by him, led some laps, showing that he isn't going anywhere. He'll be a contender all year long on the Lone Star Precision machine. But Boric and that Yoshimura Suzuki just a little bit stronger today, and the Ampro Yamaha of Walker Fowler. Fowler is still charging these last couple of corners. Nothing to gain, but he's in the rhythm right now. He's in the flow, and a great job by that young man. He showed he definitely has the fitness part of this equation dialed in. You look at the Amsoil results, Bithell and McClure top 5 in their debuts on new machines, and Henthorn, your whole shot winner in his first pro race, finishes up 8th. Let's talk to our winner, Chris Boric.
Yeah, the track was really tough this year. Real dry, dusty, and just the sand just kept blowing out. But bike worked awesome out there, Fox shocks. I mean, just Max's tires hooked up, and can't thank those guys enough for supporting me, being behind me, and going out and getting the win.
Let's go with the Amsoil race recap. Braden Henthorn, in his first race in the pro class, grabs the whole shot. Chris Boric quickly takes the lead at the number 1. He doesn't like leading early, so he coughs it up to Adam McGill, who would run the point position for a while. Walker Fowler from way back would charge up to 3rd, able to overcome a very strong Chris Bithell down the stretch. But it was Boric in control on the last lap until disaster strikes. He tags the back of a lap rider, goes down. Luckily, he and his machine were not damaged. So Boric takes the opener. Thanks for watching Racer TV. We'll see you next week.